My dearest Anne, truly I have no idea what I'm going to do about you. The fact that I agreed to introduce you with less than 24 hours notice says that either number one, clearly I like you. Number two, that clearly all those things that I've come to know about you are true. Or three, you are now at my mercy. And during this introduction, and lastly but not least, you owe me big time. Big time. And I'll take payment in baked goods, okay? All right. So, given the parameters of my introduction, I just made up some stuff about Anne. I'm not gonna lie. So, did you know that Anne's claim to fame was twerking with Miley Cyrus? Did you know that Anne secretly wants to be the princess on My Little Pony? I mean, seriously, the big pink one with the crown and the fairy wand? That's Anne. Did you know that Anne once lost an arm wrestling contest with Justin Bieber? And that she has a tattoo to prove it that she lost. You have to ask her where it is. I can't deal with that. So, and finally, Anne once appeared on Keeping Up with the Kardashians as a swimsuit style consultant for Scott. Now that is a dirty job, for real. Okay, so that is the fictional tale of Anne, and now let me tell you about the Anne that I have come to know and love. Anne is fiercely competitive. Whether she's on the softball field or riding her horse, Anne wants to win. And it is this competitiveness and drive that will serve her well when she leaves Collegiate. I also appreciate the emotional energy that Anne puts into those things that she loves. Admittedly, there have been some times when I wish she puts a little bit more real energy into some of the things she doesn't love. But all in all, Anne has never failed to do something that I've asked her to do, and besides, who could resist that wonderful smile of hers, even if she didn't do it? So, Anne is also an excellent cook, if you didn't know. Or should I say, a baker. If you have not had an opportunity to have your taste buds taste her baking, you are for sure missing out on something special. In the short time that I've known Anne, I've had the opportunity to hug her when she has cried, laugh at and with her over countless silly things, high-five her on jobs well done, and most importantly, I've been blessed with the opportunity to get to know a thoughtful and sincere young woman who is only just starting to realize both how bright she is and how wonderful she is. A friend to all, an amazing advisee. It is truly my pleasure to introduce to you Anne Czerwonka.
Growing up as a kid, I remember watching Full House every chance I could. One thing I always dreamed of was living in this house of this hilarious television family with undeniable chemistry. I wanted to experience what happened behind the scenes when the cameras weren't on. This past fall, I got the chance to live on a TV set in my own home. And honestly, this was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. About a year ago in November, I took a sledgehammer to the side of our screened-in porch. After waiting many years for my dad to start construction, we began a complete remodeling of our house, destroying our outdated kitchen with green cabinets and bamboo wallpaper, and adding an amazing new kitchen with new appliances, my favorite being the new double oven. This past August, it was announced that Damaris Phillips, a Kentucky native, was the winner of the next Food Network Star Season 9. With this win, Damaris would have her own TV show that would come to be called Southern at Heart. Damaris, a bubbly young girl, would teach men featured on Southern at Heart how to impress their girlfriends or wives by cooking. The only issue was Damaris needed a place where she could shoot her TV show. After multiple emails were exchanged between the Kentucky Film Commission, Food Network, and my parents, producers from the Food Network came from Los Angeles to Louisville to look at our kitchen. When the producers arrived after looking at 10 other potential kitchens in Louisville, they immediately knew that our kitchen would be the one where they would film the premiere season of Southern at Heart. From the spacious refrigerator to the huge oven and stove, Our house was perfect and met their needs. A week later, the Food Network moved into our house. In total, the Food Network used our new kitchen, garage, mudroom, dining room, living room, family room, office, and guest bedroom. The 10 days that the Food Network was at our house were crazy. After the producer and director worked out the final details, the first 2 days, production, sound, light, and camera crews all moved in. And honestly, our kitchen looked like it had been built to be a set for a Food Network show. From the lights to the cameras, I was in awe. Every day, a crew would arrive between 6:30 and 7 in the morning. Mary, the line producer, was one of the nicest ladies I have ever met. Mary, who was blonde and always perfectly dressed, became like a second mother to me. She never let me leave for school until I had gotten breakfast from the table stationed in our garage. That was for the workers, which they shared with us because we weren't supposed to cook in our kitchen. If there's one thing that I really enjoyed about having the Food Network at our house, it was the abundant amount of food. There was not a day of the 10 that there was ever a lack of food to eat at our house. One day, I came home from school and crept into my room to make sure I wouldn't disrupt production, and found a huge gallon-sized bag of granola that had been saved just for me. This granola that Damaris makes is one of the best things I have ever put in my mouth. From the crunch of the oats and nuts to the sweet chewiness of the coconut and raisins, this granola was addictive. You can find the recipe if you go to foodnetwork.com and search Damaris Phillips. Overall, this has been one of the best experiences of my life. Meeting the people that we did and forming these relationships has led to us meeting Alton Brown and being invited to both Los Angeles and New York. From the time when I woke up one Sunday morning because Damaris was in the room next to me singing Waterfalls by TLC at 6:45 to the last day of production when one of the set designers named Danielle came up to me and told me I became like a little sister to her. I think that the people at the Food Network are some of the coolest and most talented people I have ever met. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wish that the Food Network was back at our house. So just because you think that you will never get an opportunity because of being an average person, don't give up hope. You might just get an unexpected email that'll fulfill your dreams.